Toxic people, toxic environments. This is a very common complaint I come across almost with everyone that I meet on a daily basis. People are always complaining about some toxicity in their lives. But how do you handle it? Let's talk about this today. Welcome back to the musings of an old Maverick. Welcome back to the archives of my life. Over the 4 decades that I've worked, professionally speaking, and the last 7 years as an entrepreneur, let me tell you, there is not a single person I've not come across who says, my God, I have toxicity in my life. Whether it's toxic environments or whether it is to do with toxic people. Now here's the thing, let me tell you how I handle my toxicity. Toxic people. When I was a young executive, I worked under a boss who was an amazing person, a Kashmiri, soft-spoken, big-hearted, one of those typical dream bosses you could think of in your life. And one fine day, I stormed into his cabin and I said, "Sir, I'm getting tired of all these toxic people around me." So he looks at me and says, "Toxic? What do you mean by toxic?" So I said, "People here, they're always gossiping, they're always bitching against each other, they're always talking about how things don't happen, no matter how much they try. And this entire atmosphere is so toxic, sir. I am just not being able to concentrate on my work." So he looked at me and he smiled and he said, "Do you know you're one of the best executives I have on my team?" I said, "I know that, sir, but let me tell you, this best executive very soon is going to be our worst executive because of all the kind of people that he's surrounded with from 9 o'clock in the morning to 6:37 in the evening." And he smiled once again and he said, "I'll tell you, can you do me a favor?" So I said, "Sure, sir, what do you want me to do?" He says, "I am planning to do a wall-to-wall carpeting in the entire office. And I'd like you to do one small exercise for me." So I said, "Sure, boss, anything you like." And he says, "I'd like you to take a sheet of paper, go to one corner of the room, walk to the other corner along the wall, and measure the number of steps you've taken and note that down. Do the same thing from that corner to the other corner till you cover all the 4 corners. Then I'd like you to move from one corner to the diagonal opposite corner. And then go back to the other corner and walk diagonally across to the final corner. And I want you to measure this, number of steps you take, and come back with me with those measurements." So I was kind of nonplussed. I was wondering, what is wrong with my boss today? How can we measure a room with the number of steps I take? But being a good subordinate and actually pretty fond of my boss, I said, "Okay, chief, whatever you say, and I'll do it." And I went and spent the next, 30 minutes crisscrossing, doing exactly what he wanted me to do. And then I got back and I said, "Here, boss, is my report." So he said, "Let's put this aside and let me ask you one important question." So I said, "What is it, chief?" And he said, "While you were walking crisscrossing this entire floor, did you notice anybody gossiping? Did you notice anybody not working? Did you hear people talking against you or the company or their work?" So I said, "No way, chief. I was busy doing what you told me to do. So I didn't hear anything. I don't even know who was in that room, that large floor of ours. I just did what you want me to do." And then he said, "Anand, This is why people find this entire world toxic. Because they lose focus on eventually what they have to do. I gave you an assignment. You did the assignment. What surrounded you within that assignment wasn't your bother. In the same way, the Lord above has given you an assignment. The entire universe has brought you into the world for a certain purpose. But what's happening with us? We lose focus. And it's only when we lose focus when we start looking at things that are around us, and then our perceptions get so terribly colored that everything around us becomes toxic. And you know what? That is the truth. That is the truth between you and me. There are no toxic people. There are no toxic environments. There are just toxic perceptions. And how do we find things getting toxic? We find things getting toxic when we lose our focus. So the most important thing to handle toxicity first is to get your focus back in place. The world's best leaders, the world's best entrepreneurs, the world's best performers are deeply focused. For them, it doesn't matter which side of the earth the sun rises. For them, what is important is to achieve splendidly what they have decided to achieve in life. So when you lose focus on your goals, on your purpose, on whatever reason you want to do what you're doing, you'll find everything around you toxic. Because now your mind has switched to other zones, to other areas that don't need your attention. And then you're getting caught up with those who can never be who you want to be, who you are. Because who you are is an amazing and a powerful person. Someone like you can do anything under the sun. Because that's why you were born to be here. There is so much of power, there's so much of strength inside you. But what's happening? You lose focus. You lose focus, you lose direction. You lose direction, you get caught up in what you call toxicity. So that's me for now. Here's your mentor, friend, lifestyle coach, or whatever you want to call it. Signing off for now. And till we meet again, do have a wonderful life.